Okay, I was looking for a seek, but I got challenged to an unrated game by a friend, so I guess we'll see how that plays out instead. So, I don't know this guy in real life. He's someone I've played on chess.com before, and it's unrated, so why not? There's the 10-second increment, which I didn't have on my seek, but that's fine. Okay, he's saying good luck. I'm gonna say you too, but not better than mine. Okay, so he's playing one of these variations. Like, often they'll play that. D3. So he's probably going to be going for an eventual F5 push. And I am going to do something. So I already have a little bit of a time advantage. Nothing significant though, so just cementing the center. I've got some nice central control now. I'm gonna want to play my knight. Just develop, as they say. And now there are a few plans I could go for. I could try and get my knight to F5. Or at least have it covering F5 to try and stop that pawn push for a while. I can bring my queen out. I can try and get my bishop developed somewhere. He's spending kind of time for just the opening, but time isn't really the hugest factor in this kind of game, so he's looking to castle. I'll get my knight up. He hasn't played his d-pawn up at all, which I don't recall being standard for these lines, but okay, let's see if we can hijack that diagonal a little. So there are actually some cool mates that you can get if you have control of that diagonal and the king is on h1. So it would be good to keep those in mind. He will probably either be playing king h1 or maybe just knight c3, maybe regular old c3 and going for a push. I guess for now I have to be careful maybe about my d6 square, or about letting him play g4, f5. I could consider trying to castle queenside, but his A pawn comes down pretty quickly if I do that, I think. So right now he needs to be king safety like that, and he needs to be considering how he will, how he's going to get his pieces out. So I think maybe h5 to prevent g4 would be good here. And then, like, maybe it's a little risky with my king creating this hole on f6, but just, you know, like, maybe if it's necessary I could play g6. But also, like, if he takes, then he does have to be careful. Like, if he moves the knight, I move the knight, he takes, then I would have g6. And then after the bishop moves back, I'd have knight here, check, and then I'd win his rook. And there's a potential for a cool tactic where, like, if I get the pawn here, and this diagonal opens up, and then I can play check. He has to take, I take, he has to block, then I take with checkmate. So he should be at least a little nervous. I mean, he can't just completely disregard his king safety. Okay, so he's playing, I guess, for a d4 push. I am moving a bit quickly, but I play the French a lot, so none of this is completely unfamiliar territory. It is still kind of hard for him to get his pieces out, I think. Because, see, now I'm covering d4, I believe, adequately. And, like, he could try his bishop here, I guess. It's something he could try, but the white squared bishop is it's your good bishop, and the French is white, and it's a powerful attacking tool, so. I could also consider going for that mate. That it feels a little bit artificial, just trying to go in for an attack like that. But so like if I play up, okay, I see he's trying to cover that. I think. I think maybe I can go up anyway. He might like try and push that, but then he's locked in his own bishops, and and things feel safer for me. So, and also I'm threatening soon just to play h4, and then that knight check is an actual threat. So, like, he has to deal with that now, I think. Because, like, if he does a calm developing move, like moving the knight here, for example, it's probably not something he would ever play, since, you know, where's it going from there? I guess, like, maybe here and here. Then I get to play there, and then I get that check. It's bad for him, so let's see, I could go ahead and play that now. And then I think he has to play d4. And, okay, so if I take, he takes with the bishop, of course. If I go up there, he has to do something about that, so he can't just take here. He'd probably play d4. Or perhaps the queen here. If he plays the queen there, then I think I play my bishop up, and then he'll play d4. So I think just h4 right here. So he either plays d4, or he will play the other move, the queen. And the point is, after this, his bishops are really tied in. I mean, my light-squared bishop isn't great either, but I have these active knights in the center, and it's maybe hard for him to get his pieces out in any meaningful way. So if he takes, then I believe it is just forced mate. So like there, check, he can't go here, so I guess he can take with the queen. He can take with the queen, so it's not quite forced mate, but he loses his queen if he takes here. Yeah, so if he takes, then knight g3, then if pawn takes with check. The knight has to block, and then I take with checkmate. And the pawn would be on g3 then, so even if he does knight h2, rook takes h2 is covered. So I think that he ends up having to close this diagonal. Which also just really locks up his center, and I think is good news for me overall. Okay, so he's thinking, so let's see, I mean, I don't think that he really has options. You cannot do that, my friend. GG. He thought he was safe, but he wasn't. Okay, so I mean he pretty much has to take with the queen, and then he can't even like take here on d5 to try and mess up my pawns, because I'd still be threatening mate, so he has to play there, but he should be resigning soon. Any minute now, with that sinking realization that he has to give up the queen. Yup. You know about this sort of thing when you play the French as often as I do. Okay, so, I guess he'll know if he watches the video that I was trying to cheapo him the entire time, but I think that, you know, I still have promise after he pushed d4, because then, like, this is all locked up. And my dog starts barking. So hopefully he resigns soon, because I have to go soon. Oh, in an hour and a half? Okay, my brother says I don't have to go for another hour and a half, so I've also run into this kind of thing on the tactics trainer. Okay. Okay, so he has resigned, and I guess I will cut off the recording there. That's an important tactic to know if you're going to be playing this like early f4 response against the French. So that's a tip, kids. Write it down. And thank you for watching.